So now you have to go
Oh,
to the. Yeah, it's a pain in
you
the ass.
found the record. You found, but it just told me you were recording though, so I assume you're recording.
Yeah, they used to the Zoom thing used to have the record button at the bottom. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it still
Oh
does.
yeah, look, it's told me you're being. It's told me I'm being recorded.
Oh
Wow,
God.
it's been a while since I've cammed with another man.
Well, you know what? There's always a tenth time.
I was just thinking you'd be sitting here trying to find the record button. By the time you do, you've released another 6 albums.
Yeah, well, I actually, what's funny is over the past year, I recognize, and as a result of PowerNerd, how the work benefits now from not being impregnated by neurosis. It's like if I go into every project being like, "Fuck, we've only got a week to do this. Fuck, we've only got 10 days to do this. Whatever." It often it will always get done, and sometimes it will have an energy that goes along with that you couldn't get any other way. But I realize now that I'm finishing up the Moth, having spent 5 years, 10 years on that thing, the proof of how much better things get if they just have the time to uh, uh, sort of boil is dude. I just talked like a motherfucker. I'm so sorry. I'm just
Yeah,
waking
but
up.
no, it's cool, man. And what I think though is like something like every project has to have a different intention. The
Mhm.
Moth, you couldn't like I remember when I was at school and everyone had spent like 6 months doing their big project, and I go, fuck that, I could do it in the 2 days before and turn it in, and I'll cut corners and all of that. And it didn't work,
Yeah, yeah.
it never worked. And I think the Moth is that project that you can't cut corners on. Whereas Power Nerd, I think, actually thrives from going, you know what, I've got a few ideas. Let's chuck it at the wall. Let's bring me in and record some drums, and you do the rest, and win at it in a week. Some
Well,
some
this is
things you can get away with that.
I agree, man, and it's like this is why I wanted to also talk to you about this. Just a year away from Power Nerd now, and just everything that had happened in that year that it was just so over the top with the Moth. Um, I was it's the probably the third or fourth time that you stepped into my world and kind of saved the day. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
when we did the Bloodstock show, when was that, 2020 or 21 or whatever? Uh, I don't think you had never really even played metal at that point. You had, obviously,
I,
but not like.
I mean, I always listened to it as a kid. Like, I love metal, but I never really had the urge to play it. And I could just about. Although if you read some internet comments, I'm sure some people disagree.
Well, but I guess the thing that's
But
so funny about it is my impression of the Bloodstock show was just I was just so floored by everybody because they had said, okay, you can headline this show, but you need to only it's just you, so you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and you're going to have a British band and crew. And so I called Matthias, who is our mutual friend at Toontrack, and I said, "Do you know any British drummers?" And he said, "Well, I know a guy that's like an incredible fusion jazz rock drummer, but I don't know if he does like the full on metal stuff." And when we talked, I was like, "Hey, Darb, my name's Dev, and I do all this bullshit, and we got to do this show that's everything in one go." And you were just like, "Well, let's give it a go." And you came
yeah.
through. And then when we subsequent tours, when we toured for the following 2 years, man, you just got so good at doing that. It was unbelievable how
Cheers, man.
consistent you got, man. So any internet comments on your first attempt after 2 days of rehearsal, not meeting somebody to do a headline show at a festival, of not playing metal after not playing metal for your entire life, essentially, I think we can take with a grain of salt, based on
Yeah,
what you managed to
listen.
pull off on the Moth and everything.
Dude, I think everything we've pulled pulled off. I want to reword that.
Yeah,
Everything we've
same.
achieved.
And the things that we pulled off as well, right?
Yeah, you've got to do a bit of both.
Yeah,
I
man.
think everything, having something slightly different, and I think as a drummer, that's what I bring to the table. Yes, I can kind of imitate that metal thing, but I also bring my own slightly. It does come from that sort of jazzy fusiony thing, and I
Totally.
think it just makes for a different thing that not many people do.
Well, I agree with you, and I
Um,
think it's so much. It's such a better move for me to start from that direction as opposed to going a metal direction, saying, "Hey, can you play jazz and fusion?" I would
mm,
prefer to go the other way and be like, "Listen, that's already established." Because in that realm, when it came to do the Moth, you had done Lion King, right? You were in the
yeah, yeah, in the West End, they're like the
yes.
Broadway equivalent in England.
This is it. So when it comes to doing these projects that require uh, being able to read the scores and being able to participate with the conductors and all these sorts of things, the work that you and I have gone into, like, okay, so this is a blast beat, or this is a double kick thing that I've been working on, and then you're woodshedding that. But when we got to do Moth and when we got to do all these other projects, you were able to read music, you were able to communicate with the conductor, you were able to work in an ensemble and understand, the parameters of it, and that for
Yeah.
what I've been looking to do with Moth and is just been invaluable. So thank you, brother.
Well, dare I say it? I almost feel like through the projects we've done, I kind of take a bit of weight off your shoulders.
You do?
Do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
the
I'll give you
you
two
don't have to
examples of
quite.
that. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, no. Go.
Two examples of that. People might not know that not only on that Bloodstock show did you have to learn all that stuff, or we did the 2 nights at the Royal Albert Hall where you had to learn 50 songs.
Now
Uh,
that was intense.
that was intense. Same with James.
That
Same
was
with Keneally. It
intense.
was fucking intense, man. We had like what a like 5 days to put all that together. But I think with the
Yeah.
Bloodstock show, the thing that people don't realize is 15 minutes before we went out, our computers shat the bed, and we didn't have a backup. And you actually went up on stage and reprogrammed the system 15 minutes before we went on stage. And I remember being like, "Oh, thank God."
Well, and what's great about that? That was good practice because you obviously learnt your lesson from that. And come the first night at the Albert Hall, I was busy doing the same thing 35 seconds before we were due on stage.
To be fair, though, I was helping you during the Royal on the Royal Albert Hall. I was involved with that one. You weren't a lone
Dude,
wolf like you were on the Bloodstock
but
one.
no, man. But I tell you what, I think the team of people that we have, be it Bloodstock, be it the tour we just did, but be it all these recording sessions we've done, I just feel you've got a team of people that everyone is like striving for the same goal,
Totally,
whether they've got a small part in it, whether they've got a huge part in it, and
totally.
it's just so much fun to work with people that are in that mindset, and as a result, it makes these mammoth tasks just look, not insurmountable. It's actually kind of easy.
From the outside, right? I mean,
Yeah, well,
I think the thing is,
just say yes. It's so
yes,
easy.
yes, so easy. The thing that
Yeah.
what you just said, which I agree with 100%, is this team that we put together, and the last year and a half we've been working to re sort of reinvent the brand in a way. So like every aspect of what we've been doing, we've been working, and I've been putting together this
Mm.
team and a facility and all these things to do so. And we'll know in the next couple of months if it works or if it doesn't. But either way, what they say, God hates
It's
a
gonna
coward.
work.
So yeah.
No, dude, it's gonna work. I've heard some of it. It's
Yeah.
definitely gonna work.
Oh man, and Moth,
Um,
I gotta say, dude, like, so Chris and I are just in the it's really good, man. It's really good. So let's talk about
I did WhatsApp Chris, and I was like, "How's the mix going? How's it sounding?" Kind of nudge, nudge.
yeah,
Send me
yeah.
a link, and he's nope.
Ah.
He's like, "Nope."
Nope. Yeah, Chris is great, man. And I wanted to. This whole thing was based on sort of like a year away from PowerNerd, and like you say, like the energy that went into the frantic nature of putting this record together. I mean, it was written in 11 days, and so much of it was corralled from ideas and concepts from the past. And in the beginning, it was supposed to be a very sort of simple project that goes between the more complex ones, like
Mm,
Empath, and then you've got something like Lightwork, and then you've got Puzzle, and
yep.
you got something like Power Nerd, and you got the Moth, and you got something like whatever it is. So it's like the balm to that. And the original idea was I had another drummer lined up and a
Mm,
bass player lined up that were both booked to come up to Vancouver and do the record. And I love just having different people and trying different things.
yeah, 100%.
But both of these musicians who are great musicians, happened the week prior to get two super high profile gigs. And they both called
Mm,
me up and they were like, listen, I know that we've got these dates booked and everything, but I can't not take this gig. And
yeah.
I was just like, yeah, of course, 100%, I agree. And then I just sat there, I hung up the phone and I was just like, huh. And then sheepishly,
Not,
I
not
was just,
him again.
no, not at all. I was just, it's like, just because the Power Nerd stuff was just such, knuckle dragging music. It's just boom, tit, boom, boom, tit. And I was thinking, okay, so I'll just get someone who focuses on that for this, and then we do the Moth with Darby. And then when that fell through, and I called you, you learned the stuff on the plane. You showed up 3 days later, and we recorded it. And I was just, again, it was just another example of you coming in and making something that could have been a potential disaster really great, really consistent, and really fun. And dude, you knocked it out of the park yet again. Thank you.
Well, and yeah, and I was thinking about this. So Ben sent me some sort of video clips of us recording the other day to have a look at, and I was watching them, and it made me realize, like, because we recorded in the drums in like 2 and a
Yeah,
tiny bit days,
yeah, yeah,
2 days,
yeah.
and I realized just how much fun and pissing about we actually did. We made a record and just like had the largest amount of fun and the most jokes and just like a really good time. And you would think that when you send me 70% of the album as I'm in the lounge at Heathrow Airport downloading it, I think you sent me like 3 songs 3 days before, and the rest of it's like, oh, I'm not there yet. I still haven't written them.
Yeah.
But for us to come in and be able to do that quickly and still not feel like it was a stressful situation is great. And I think the record came out great. I love it.
I realize that, like,
and Jacob did such a good job on it as well.
Absolutely. I realized that's the last record that I was going to mix on my own. I realized the stress of trying to pull that off. Because as soon as we had finished tracking the drums, just, a bunch of shit on my side on a personal level just went south for the duration of the recording. So I recognized a lot of things from doing PowerNerd. One is, from moving forward, I need someone to help me with the mix. 2, it's like, although the energy that we were able to capture with that based on the extenuating circumstances probably wouldn't have come across with such intensity had we had more time to do it. Power Nerd was also the last record that I will do like that. It's like coming into it from this point, the speed in which I process my emotions is just so slow, and it takes a long time for me to understand what I'm feeling while I'm feeling it. And I hope that when people hear what we've done with the Moth album, the proof of why it makes sense for things to sort of take their time from this point on to come to fruition will be obvious, right?
Yeah.
But man,
yeah.
But man, we rocked it.
It's been fun. It's been fun. It sounds great, man. It sounds so good.
And and compared to PowerNerd, so Moth, how long did we track the drums for on that? It was like a week, right?
So we were there for a week. I think we spent a day and a half setting up, getting sounds, really being meticulous. I think we put aside 5 days for me to track the drums, and then I did it in 4. So I flew home a day early.
And Moth is a whole different animal. A whole different animal, man. Because I think that what was also interesting about what we did with Moth is, in my mind, or with you guys, so Keneally, James Leach, yourself, when you guys came together with Moth and we had the tempo maps, and I realized that when you guys went through and you redid the tempo maps, you're like, oh, this is a bar of 5/8, this is a bar of 6/4, this is 7, whatever. But for me, everything's in 4, like always.
I know.
So it's like, it doesn't matter if it's 16 or 2 or 12 or 8. I just give myself a 4 count before the downbeat. And so I had done that with our
tempo then you just
map.
go.
Yeah, I'd done that with our tempo maps, thinking this makes perfect sense. And I remember all 3 of you guys looking at each other, and then they all looked at you going, Darby, could you redo the tempo map?
Yeah, we got there. But you know what? What I think is really cool about that is it shows that you're not trying to be clever and you're not trying to show off and be intelligent like some of these bands do. No, there's anything wrong with it. Let's put 19 here, let's put 17 here. You're just feeling the music and you're feeling the rhythm. And I think that's almost the most honest interpretation you can have of something, is to not give a shit about what the time signatures actually are and just play.
Well, thank you.
What I'm grateful is, because when I first started working with you, I remember at one point we were tracking some demos and you weren't even recording to the tempo map in Pro Tools. You just printed a click at a certain tempo. And so I was like, oh, can we just nudge a few things and chop them on the grid? You're like, oh, no, none of it's in time in the session.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that I realize about my own musical output, and this is why I've gone so far with trying to establish a team this year and investing everything I've got into a facility, into like a group of people to push this forward.
Hey, Devin here. So, to experience the full, unedited release of this episode and gain access to the deeper world of our creative imagination over here at Heavy Devy Records, you can join us at dvn.fm. This is Dev. Thanks again.